Hey everyone, welcome to a deep dive today into Accra, Ghana. Our source is going to be accra-ghana.com. It's a website that's kind of like a personal exploration of the city. It's got all this information about Accra, but it's also got opinions and observations from the person who made it, which makes it even more interesting to me. Accra is the capital of Ghana, right on the Atlantic coast of West Africa. And from what I can see in the website, it's a really fascinating mix of allure and a bit of apprehension.
Yeah, it's like reading someone's diary almost. Like they're figuring out Accra as they go.
Totally. And that's what we're going to do today, dive deep into Accra. Everything from its history and its culture to some of the challenges and opportunities there.
Well, the website starts by talking about how appealing Accra is. People from all over the world are drawn to Accra for so many reasons. For business, education, diplomacy, and tourism.
It's true. The website really emphasizes that Accra is a global city. A real mix of people live there from all walks of life. And that makes sense with Accra being right on the coast.
Right on the Atlantic coast. Historically, Accra has always been an important trading hub because of that. And today, it's like a gateway to West Africa.
Yeah.
Plus, there's something about being on the coast, especially somewhere as vibrant as Ghana.
Absolutely. But what I find interesting is how the website goes back and forth between those images of Accra and then the nitty-gritty of everyday life. It's not afraid to show the good and the bad. There are whole sections on the website called leaving, scam, and even extortion.
Oh, wow. It's like a reality check?
Yeah. The website's super direct. It says that Accra is the most expensive city in Africa. It even says that if you go out to eat, it'll cost between $5 and $15 a meal.
That's so specific. I wonder who they think is going to be eating there. Maybe tourists or people who can afford it. Which makes me think there must be all sorts of different income levels in Accra.
You're right. And you know what else? The website mentions Indian communities and restaurants a lot. The author seems really interested in the multiculturalism there.
Yeah, and it's not just Indians either. The website talks about Arab, Canadian, and other international communities too. It really seems like a melting pot of cultures. I wonder how that affects the city and how all those cultures get along with each other.
Yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind. That mix of cultures seems like a big part of what makes Accra unique. But another thing that stood out to me was how the website kind of contrasts the beautiful pictures of Accra with some of the tough realities it describes. It's trying to show both sides of the coin.
And that's what makes this deep dive so interesting. It's not just a travel brochure. We're getting a real look at how complex Accra is, how it can be appealing and kind of intimidating at the same time.
Exactly. And speaking of intimidating, the website talks about some of the challenges in Accra too. Things like crime and corruption and poverty and inflation. And it's very straightforward. It doesn't try to sugarcoat anything. There's even a quote that says the inflation in Accra is out of control.
Wow. Sounds like the author's really trying to make sense of it all. It's very personal and honest. And then there's that section called leaving. It seems like people are choosing to leave Accra because of those problems.
You're right. It makes you think about what it's really like to live in Accra when you've got all those issues with safety and healthcare and education. It almost seems like the opposite of how Accra is portrayed as this global city that draws people in.
Yeah. It shows the difference between what Accra wants to be and what many people who live there have to deal with.
Exactly. And that difference, that tension, is something we're going to keep unpacking as we look at this website more closely.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes.
Me too.
It's clear Accra is changing rapidly. It's growing and developing fast, but it's also dealing with some serious problems.
Absolutely. It's a city that's hard to define. It's always changing, and it's full of contradictions.
Keeps you guessing. Yeah, it really feels like trying to solve a puzzle with all these different pieces, and the website's authors putting them all together. I'm really interested to see how they're dealing with all these complicated issues.
Me too. One thing that really grabbed my attention was the part about Jamestown. It's one of the oldest parts of Accra, and the history there is incredible. It started as just a small fishing village, but then it became this huge trading post. And sadly, it was a major part of the transatlantic slave trade back in colonial times.
Right. Jamestown's history is really heavy. It reminds you of the dark side of colonialism and how it shaped Accra. I noticed the website talks about the old buildings from that time too, the European-style houses and the forts and the lighthouses. They're all still standing in Jamestown. It's like the past is right there next to the modern city.
You can feel that history when you walk around Jamestown. It's such an interesting mix of old and new. But speaking of the present, the website doesn't shy away from talking about the problems Accra is facing today. And some of them are pretty serious. The author seems really concerned about safety. They even ask, How safe is Accra, Ghana?
And they say that's a question a lot of Ghanaians who live abroad ask, too. Like, they're worried about how safe it is.
Yeah, and I can see why. The website is very open about the crime and the scams and even extortion in Accra. It's like a wake-up call for anyone who thinks Accra is just some perfect paradise.
Definitely. That part about scams was pretty shocking. The author mentions people getting scammed right at the airport.
Not a great first impression for visitors. You really have to be careful.
Makes you wonder, too, are those scams just random things that happen? Or is there something deeper going on, like maybe not enough resources or rules?
That's a good question. It makes you think about what's really causing these problems.
Right. The website also talks about some other sensitive topics, like prostitution and drugs. Those sections were tough to read. You can tell the author is struggling to understand it all. They know it's a sensitive topic, but they also really want to know how these things affect Accra.
I know what you mean. It's like they're trying to match up what they thought they knew with what they're seeing now, which is something we all do when we're learning about a new place. But even when they're talking about these hard things, the author always comes back to how resilient the people in Accra are.
Totally. They're really impressed by how entrepreneurial everyone is, especially in the markets. It's like everyone's figuring out ways to make a living, even when things are tough. They describe Makola Market and Osu Night Market so well.
I know, right? Makola Market is huge and lively. They've got everything there. Clothes, food, electronics, traditional crafts. It's like sensory overload in a good way. So much energy and color.
And then Osu Night Market is a whole other experience. It starts when it gets dark. Food stalls, music, dancing. It's like a celebration of Accra's nightlife. It shows how energetic the city is.
Those markets really capture what Accra is all about. Business and community mixed together. Everyone's working hard and making things happen, even with all the challenges they're facing.
Yeah, it's not just about surviving. It's about the community and how strong people are. It seems like that's a really important part of Accra.
The author talked about Nima, too. It's a neighborhood in Accra known for being busy and having a strong community.
I read that part. Nima is often seen as a rough area, dealing with poverty and stuff, but the author focuses on how strong the community is there and how everyone has a shared identity. It changes the way you think about a poor neighborhood.
Exactly. It shows that you can't just judge a place by how much money people have. There's so much more going on. It's about the human spirit, how people help each other and create good things even when things are tough.
And the website talks about the politics in Accra, too. It has sections on policy and power, but it doesn't get into specifics.
Yeah, it's more about how those big forces affect people's daily lives.
Like trying to figure out the unspoken rules and the power dynamics and how they affect things like jobs and whether people can move up in society.
Right, and speaking of forces at play, the author doesn't shy away from the environmental problems in Accra either. Pollution, flooding, sanitation, it's all there. There's one quote that really hit me. The environmental situation in Accra is an ecological disaster. That's intense.
It makes you realize that Accra's growth has come with a price, and taking care of the environment is a huge issue they have to deal with. But I do like how the author always brings it back to the people.
Me too. It's never just about the problems themselves. It's about how those problems affect people and how people are coping and finding ways to adjust.
The author really admires how strong the people in Accra are, how they can deal with these things and still find joy and celebrate even when things are hard.
Totally. And that admiration extends to the culture in Accra too. The markets, the historic places, the nightlife. You can tell the author is captivated by the energy and the vibrancy and the warmth of the people there.
Yeah, it seems like Accra never sleeps. Always something going on, just full of life.
This website has been an amazing deep dive into Accra. But after looking at all this, I have one big question. What does learning about Accra tell us about Ghana as a whole?
That's a really good question. I think the website itself is trying to figure that out too. It focuses on Accra, but it keeps mentioning Ghana. Like the author is trying to see how the capital city reflects the whole country.
Yeah. Is Accra like a mini version of Ghana with the same problems and opportunities? Or is it totally different? Does what happens in Accra matter to the rest of the country?
Makes you think about the relationship between the capital and the country. Does the capital lead the way, or is it shaped by the country?
Maybe it's both. This complicated mix of the local and the national, the city and the countryside, the traditional and the modern.
One thing's for sure, Accra is full of contradictions, where good things and bad things exist together, where the past meets the present, and where the human spirit shines through, even when times are tough.
It's a place that you can't easily put into a box. always changing, always making you rethink what you thought you knew. It's what makes Accra so interesting to learn about, The website might be about Accra specifically, but it really makes you think about Ghana as a whole and where it's headed.
I agree, this deep dive into Accra has left me with more questions than answers. But isn't that the point? It makes you curious and want to dig deeper and understand things on a different level.
It reminds you that there's always more to learn, more layers to uncover, and I think that's what the website creator is getting at too. It's a journey of discovery,
And that's why they're so drawn to the people in Accra, I think. Even with all the challenges they face, there's this incredible sense of resilience and warmth, and this ability to make the best of things. Like even when they're talking about poverty or hardship, you can sense the author's admiration for how people are dealing with those things, and not just surviving, but thriving.
It's all about the human element, right? It's not just facts and figures. It's about the people who live there and their stories. And speaking of stories, the website is amazing at highlighting the culture in Accra, from those markets to the historic places and the nightlife.
The way they describe it, it really comes to life. You can almost hear the sounds of the markets and smell the food and feel the energy of the nightlife just from their words.
Makes you want to go there and experience it all yourself. That's what good writing does, right? It not only tells you things, but it inspires you and makes you want to learn more and see things for yourself.
Totally. It's like we got a peek into a world that's both familiar and strange. It made us question some things and opened our minds.
So as we wrap up our look at Accra, Ghana, I think the biggest takeaway for me is that Accra is a city of contrasts. It's where good things and bad things live side by side, where the past and present meet, and where people keep going strong even when things are tough.
And that's what makes it so captivating. We've only scratched the surface with this deep dive. There are so many more stories to uncover and experiences to be had and perspectives to gain from this vibrant, complex city.
Accra, Ghana, a city that invites us to explore and learn and challenge what we think we know and appreciate all its complexities. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Accra.